do you have any plan for India? Because India is a big democracy and lots of people is work in different caste classes there. Most of diversity is there.
Yeah, well, actually, one of our board members is from India, so he's Syed, and he also, of course, brings all his expertise and knowledge in the country and helps share, of course, what are the needs and well, we have our regional editors, our Hindi editor too, that is wonderful, and then with that combination, and of course, being in contact with our community in India and in Asia in general, of course, we will help advance our work. So we need to understand, and we do have great content, right? In in Hindi, Deepak is great. Is our wonderful editor there, and we will continue generating resources and materials. And with the knowledge of our regional editor, board member, and our community there, we will continue advancing in the programs that we're doing, the content that we're producing for the community that is connected to India and Asia. We're doing a survey now after today ends our Global Investigative Journalism conference, so we will continue seeing. This is a great place for us to gather what are the key needs of our community. Some aspects and elements that we have already been thinking about are tied to, for instance, leadership, and training editors, that there are people to support also the investigative processes. We also will continue doing all the trainings on the reporting processes, the tools, techniques, other aspects related to journalists in exile, data, technology. So that there are many areas for us to grow and can come. And aspects in how we do training, help partner with academia too. So there are many areas where there are great ideas where we can make a difference. So we are listening a lot, and then we will be planning more on what are we going to do in the next years to come. We'll continue, of course, our programs. We have, I've been mentioning already, our regional editors. We have a help desk. We also have a resource center. We do have also materials that are published regular in our website by our editors and our editorial team. So all that will happen, and naturally we'll continue doing our global conferences. So we continue bringing together our global investigative journalism community to get connected. We have published several guides in the last weeks too that are generating more resources, and we have a digital threads program too, where we are providing specific training now on that area. So we'll continue expanding our training activity and our capacity building for our community. Yeah, well, that's a wonderful question. I do think that all the people who come to the conference are great ambassadors. So that is an echo effect. So basically, we had more than 2,000 people here who came to the Global Investigative Journalism Conference. They are from 130 countries. They go back to their countries and they share the knowledge they have acquired here and the experience with other colleagues. That was what I did myself back also in 2010 when I came to the first investigative journalism conference from Venezuela. Then I came back, I helped train other colleagues, I spread the word about GIJN and the global conference too, and shared the resources. So, and of course we have our social networks too, like our editors also. We have social networks not only in English but in different languages, so we expand our reach to our audiences, and so we can help spread the word, and people can have access to our website that is now it has a new design, but it's an echo effect. That's the power of networks. So we hope and expect also the people who attended here to spread the word and help us reach others, as we will continue, of course, using our regular channels to reach our communities in different parts of the world. Oh, that's we will. Asia and Africa are central, of course, to GIJN, and we have regional editors there. We have some programs already ongoing on advisory services in Asia, with some newsrooms in Asia, and help advance and expand their capacity with mentorship, with coaches. We also have some programs in Africa to help advance also aspects on building curricula for investigative journalism, and there's some other areas that we are exploring, but naturally We will be working closely with our communities there, with our network there, to continue developing programs that are adjusted to the realities and needs of the regions. And at the same time, we will make sure that the materials, resources that have been generated, that we are gathering also from spaces like the Global Investigative Journalism Conference, are shared with our network there, and we adjust also materials that are like connected to those realities. We'll be present at the African Investigative Journalism Conference to be held now in November. We'll be sharing there also the materials and lessons learned from the Global Investigative Journalism Conference. Will be very active there and connecting also with our African colleagues, and we'll continue exploring what are our next steps towards Asia. We have had some Asian conference already in the past years, and we will continue working on the next steps for both Asia and Africa too. Yes, I was mentioning earlier that we have our GIGN Women program, and that is a way of helping expand our reach to train, to share capacity, to have a network also, to help have not only train but also have mentors that help reach each other and help bring more women into investigative journalism. The realities vary across regions too, across countries, but we know it's key to have a great mix of views, and women make an important part of the investigative journalism community. So GIGN Women is an important program for us, and will continue expanding and growing and finding ways in which that program can help us bring more women into the field, and not only just bringing them, but having the right resources, having the right training so that they can shine and thrive. First step for me is listening. We need to listen a lot to then plan and then act. So because if we act first and we haven't listened, we might be getting into the wrong direction. So this is a stage for me, and for our organization to listen. So we'll be paying attention to the survey that we are sharing with all the attendees of the global conference. We're listening internally also to everyone from our organization to see where we are at. So we will be looking at that together, and it will be a team effort then to build the future of GIGN and our global investigative journalism community. Well, we will be there for them in terms of providing resources, continue. Our resources are there in our website for free, so and we share them, and we get excited about how they're used. We also have our help desk, so anyone who reaches out, we either provide already with information if we have them, or we connect them with the right people. So we will be there to listen and to also provide assistance in areas where we can help. And if it's not our area of expertise, we will connect them with the right people, as that is the power of networks. We actually, as it's a family, as you say, we want everyone to be present. So we want you to share what are your needs, what are your thoughts, if you have ideas, areas that we're not covering that you think where we can improve, be better, provide new resources, training, materials. And also if there are people who need your expertise, we will connect them with you, and we expect also that generosity is part of the spirit of the network. And if you can share also your knowledge, that is super valuable, your experience with the network. So it's we empower ourselves because everyone has different knowledges and different skills, and combined we're stronger. That's a great question, and we can continue with the dancing analogy. Some people dance solo, but sometimes you have choreographies and you have dancing in teams. So I do think sometimes dancing solo can be exciting, but dancing in choreographies can be very powerful. So if you are you put on your shoes, you have the tools, techniques, but you don't have enough resources, partnering with other people, finding allies, connecting with other people in your own community who are doing similar work, other people who can help you expand your resources. So sometimes sharing resources can happen also by partnering with others. So it doesn't increase your cost, but increase your capacity of working in other areas. So let's dance in choreographies, let's dance as a group. Actually, I do know very well the journalist who was using the satellites. He's actually I work with him. I used to work with him back in Venezuela, and he's not the one who has had the satellite resources. He also partners. So that's kind of like with that spirit I was talking about. And you now have GIGN, you have networks, and we connect you with other networks too that help provide other resources. So Joseph, for instance, got a grant from the Pulitzer Center. And so with the Pulitzer Center, and that was to do that investigation. And with the Pulitzer Center, he had this idea of using satellite imagery to explore systematically illegal mining in Venezuela. He didn't have all the resources or all the necessarily knowledge on the use of AI and satellite imagery, but he partnered with others. So the Pulitzer Center contacted him with other organizations who had that expertise, and then they worked with him on that project. So that is the power of networks. So you don't need to think, oh, I don't have the resources. It's like, and I was saying the other day, it's like thinking, what is that I don't know, or what resources I don't have, and then check. Well, you can reach out to your to GIGN and our networks, and then expand. Don't be afraid of asking questions to others, because then magic can happen. You can connect with others, and those resources could be accessible to you. It's a matter of reaching out and being excited about collaborating and working with others. We will continue reviewing our programs. We have now, for instance, our Digital Threads program. We have guides that have been just published, and we will continue translating into other languages that reach our Asian community too, and then listen in, and we will be reviewing the results of the survey. We'll be working closely with our regional editors to program and schedule like what are the next things and materials that we'll be providing there.
So what are the future projects in those areas? Any plan with collaborate with member organizations?
Yeah, definitely we will continue collaborating with our member organizations. We'll continue producing training materials. We will continue, we will have to plan our next global conference that will be in 2 years. So we'll make sure that, of course, the region is represented, and we will need to continue monitoring to continue advancing in the programs that we will be doing there.